So to kick us off is a man with a plan who I don't even know if he remembers, but we met like years ago at like a startup weekend event where I think is where he unofficially kind of launched his first company. He is currently the head of Techstars Chicago, the managing director there. He's also the co-chair of the School of the Art Institute's Make Work Council and an adjunct professor at Northwestern University School of Engineering, teaching entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the stage, please welcome Neal Sales-Griffin.
Wow. Is my audio working right now?
Yeah, you are on. You are live.
Everybody, that was a hell of an intro, man. Like I just had to take that in just now. I wasn't even ready for that. So it's good to see you. So I am going to share a Chrome tab with my presentation. And there we go. I think it's working. There we go. All right. So, hey, everybody, I'm going to take a second to briefly introduce myself, but I'm going to move relatively quickly because I want to talk about something that's very important to me, near and dear to my heart. And I want to move relatively fast because I know we're on a tight schedule here. And I'm grateful for all of you on a Friday for taking time out of your day to participate and listen to my perspective. So, with all that being said, I'm born and raised from the South Side of Chicago. I'm a mixed race, primarily identify as Black and Latino, but also have some Asian American descent and family members. And I have struggled throughout my life with my identity and with my place and presence as an entrepreneur and as a teacher. And growing up in Chicago, I saw a lot of really tough, hard things, and I've had a lot of family members who've struggled deeply. But that all being said, it's all motivation for me to help more people solve more problems and make progress and find happiness. So given those values and everything else, I have a few things I'd like to run through with my current work as managing director of Techstars Chicago. So through Techstars, I invest in at least 10, sometimes more companies every single year. I put in $1.2 million to help some of Chicago's most promising companies get their start and accelerate their trajectories to scale their businesses. And at Techstars, we've been doing this for over a decade now, and we've helped over 2,000 companies get their start. But one major issue has been our stated belief of wanting to support diversity and inclusion, but how much are we actually measuring up to doing that as an organization and as a company and through our investment activity? So it's not just about us saying that we agree, it's about us doing something about it. And very recently, I think the company finally decided to truly measure up to what I'm hoping will inspire a lot of other companies and individuals to follow suit in compelling any organization or business you're involved with to consider doing as well. So as far as doing, we took the time internally to come up with like tangible things that we could do to improve our diversity and inclusion. And unfortunately, like most people, it was a reactive call, right? We were reacting to issues that are being addressed in our country and in our world. And in doing so, it's putting a spotlight on issues that have always been there. They just haven't been prioritized enough. So the first thing I want to, compel people to do is publish your diversity statistics. This I find is the baseline. Right. This is one of the hardest and most uncomfortable things for a lot of people to get comfortable doing because it exposes the problem, not completely, but in a way that is very measurable and somewhat objective. And at Techstars, I think that exposure and the fact that we've been recently publishing our diversity statistics has opened up the door for a lot of conversation. So as you can see with managing directors, which is the role that I have, we're struggling from a gender inclusion standpoint in a significant way. And that's something that we're actively working on. But until you put it out there and make it public, you can't have a meaningful conversation about what you can actually do about it. So own your bad news. And as you can see, the problem gets exacerbated further when you base it on ethnicity, right? So the presence of Black people within the company is very low and very limited, and many other metrics. And that continues with the managing director distribution for Techstars. And that continues with the program manager distribution for Techstars. So given that I'm showing you how seemingly white our company is, I'm doing it in a way that has hope, because we're in the process of setting goals right now because we have this exposure, because this is public information, and because we are willing to own the fact that this has been a major problem for a long time. And even though I've recently joined in the past year, I feel excited and compelled to address this, because I think if I get more diverse investors involved in our company, and if I get more diverse entrepreneurs invested by us, that's going to make everything better. Our bottom line is going to get better. Our outcomes are going to be better. Our perspective as colleagues, coworkers, and investors is going to be more powerful. And yeah, it's just the right thing to do right now. And it's the least I think that we can do. So given all of that, the measurable goal for us as investors is to empower over 1,000 diverse CEOs by 2026. So we want at least 1,000 diverse CEOs to go through our accelerator programs, scaling across the globe by that deadline. And I thought sharing that with you all would be meaningful, because we can check back in 5-6 years to see if we actually accomplished this. But right now, strategically planning, our whole company and team is committed to realizing this outcome. So we're measuring it and we're planning it, just like we teach our founders. Also, recruiting people of color in leadership roles, starting with the board of directors, with also the executive leadership team. A lot of companies that we've invested in, a lot of companies that we look at have a lot of work to do here, and we want to be the example for them. So given that, we're in the process of recruiting a person of color, multiple persons of color for our board of directors and for our leadership. But it's not an easy thing to do, but it's necessary. So for anybody who feels like they've tried this, made progress, you have to try harder, and you need to talk to people like me to get help to figure out who you need to talk to and who you at this point, we have run out of excuses to solve these issues. And then ultimately also supporting the causes that your team cares about. So this can be through a donor matching fund. This could be through a separate foundation that your company can spin up or be a part of. But for me, it's all about measuring and managing progress. And I'm taking a data-centric approach because of the limited time and conversation here. But I just wanted to kind of provide that high level. And then finally, talking about employee policies and practices, because even when you get a job, if you're diverse and you're coming from a perspective where there aren't a lot of people in the room or in the Zoom who know the lived experience that you've been through, and sometimes may say insensitive things or make decisions not really grounded in the experiences you have, it's super important to do a full audit of what that looks like and what that could look like and how that could be better. And last but not least, something near and dear to my heart and very important is investing in more Black entrepreneurs. So we're living by example here, and we are in the process of ramping up our intentional approach to investing in underrepresented minorities, and with a primary emphasis on Black entrepreneurs because of the lack of exposure, access to friends and family capital and otherwise that they have. So with all this being said, I want to extend and express my gratitude to all of you for listening to this fast lightning talk of sorts about some of the things that we're doing as a company to make things better, more diverse and inclusive. We've got a long way to go. Not proud of our metrics as it stands, but as a newbie who just joined in and is one of the new Black minority early stage investors in Chicago and now hopefully in the US and globally, I'm here for all of you. I'm excited to write some of you all some checks, and I'm excited to give the rest of you all as much advice, support, and guidance that I can. So it's been real. It's been a pleasure. Have a happy Friday, and I will talk to all of you very soon.